Working for yourself comes with a lot of unique opportunities and responsibilities, and one of those jobs is being your own accountant. Since I work for myself, I really need to manage my own finances correctly in order to make sure I have enough money to pay all of my bills. And the problem with being a small creator is that the money that you make each month can vary wildly from the next month, so I really have to be mindful when spending, saving, and budgeting because you really have no idea what you're going to make within the next month. So this is what I do every time I get paid as a small creator. The first thing I do is I track all of my payments so I know where they all came from, because I have a few different streams of income and they vary from month to month, like I said. So I need to make sure that I know where all of my payments are coming from. I keep track of all of these in my budget tracker, which I do have available in my shop if you'd like to check it out. I'll link it down below in the description. And the budget tracker that I have linked down below is not specifically for creators. So if you're watching this and you're not a creator and you just want to get a handle on your finances, that budget tracker is really good for keeping track of your monthly spending, understanding how much you're saving, budgeting, and especially paying off debt, which I've been focusing on a lot lately, is making sure I keep track of all of my debt and paying it off. So I'll leave a link to that down below if you're looking to get your finances together. One of the income sources that I have though is Google AdSense. As a YouTuber, I get paid for the ads played on my videos. My channel is monetized, so every time you watch an ad, I get paid. And this income stream is relatively consistent since my views don't really drastically change from month to month, but it isn't the exact same amount every time like you would expect with a 9-to-5. I also have affiliate income, and this amount of money that I make depends on how many people I have successfully recommended to buy my affiliate products. But another thing with affiliate marketing is I sometimes can make a sale, but I won't actually see the money for weeks or months to come. And the reason for that depends on the creator. Whatever affiliate product I am recommending, every single creator is allowed to figure out their own payout schedule. And they also have 30-day money-back guarantees a lot of times. So whenever I make a sale, if a creator has a 30-day money-back guarantee, I have to wait for that 30 days in order to get paid in case the person that bought the product ends up taking it back. Because in that case, I will not get paid because the creator doesn't get paid. But then on top of that, you have to wait for the next pay cycle. So some people will only pay out their affiliates on the first of every month, which will then push it out another month because I may have missed the deadline. So sometimes I make a sale and I will not see that money for 2 months. Not every single affiliate program is like that. Sometimes I make a sale and I get the money. But other times I have to wait it out, make sure the sale gets approved, and it can be a long process. So it's exciting to make a sale, but then you know you won't see it for probably a month or two. So this can vary depending on, did I make sales 2 months ago or not? Or did I make a sale at all? Digital products is another income source of mine, which of course also varies depending on which ones I sell, the price range for them, and how many. And then the last income source that I have is client work, which is always my biggest income source. And this one doesn't vary too much, but it can if a client decides the next month that they don't want to sign on and I didn't bring anybody else on. So this one can go from being really great if I signed on a bunch of clients, or it can go really bad if a bunch of clients leave and no one else signed on, or it can be the same if people continually signed on month to month. But this is definitely my most consistent and my biggest income source, next to AdSense, which is my most consistent one, but not my biggest income source. And then there's the topic of actually getting paid for the money that you make as a creator. I get paid a bunch of different ways, and it can get confusing what is coming when and in which avenue, which means I really need to keep track of everything. Now, the most common place that I get paid is through PayPal because I send out invoices to my clients, and I also get a few affiliate sales from PayPal, or I get money sent directly to my bank. I also get paid through Stripe as well, but that auto sends to my bank, so I don't need to worry about it. So the only thing that I transfer over manually is from PayPal, which is fine because I always get a notification when a sale comes through PayPal or an invoice gets paid. So I don't really have to remember when a payment is going to come through there because I get the notification, I can click on it, and then immediately transfer the funds to my bank and then see it within 1 to 3 business days. That's the other thing about being a creator. A lot of times you don't get paid on the weekends. So if a weekend hits and a payment hits through PayPal, you will not see that payment until Monday. So it can get really frustrating if you have a big payment hit on a Friday because you will not be seeing it for a few days. So hopefully you have enough money to tie you over to the weekend because you're not going to have it. As far as where the money goes when it gets into my bank account, I have a separate checking account that is strictly for business. So anything that gets paid to my business or out from my business goes through that personal business checking account. And this is really great for keeping my personal spending and my business spending completely separate. And then once that money is in my bank account, I will split it up between paying for bills, saving, and of course, taxes. The first and most important thing is taxes. Since I am a creator, taxes do not get taken out of what I make. I am self-employed, so I need to make sure that I set taxes aside for myself. And unfortunately, when you work for yourself, self-employed taxes are a lot higher than normal taxes, so you need to be saving a lot. And you really don't know what they're going to charge you at the end of the year. Some people do quarterly taxes. I personally just don't make enough to justify doing quarterly taxes. So I only do mine once a year as of right now. And I always save 15% of everything that I make in a separate checking account for taxes. Now, I'm honestly not saving enough. I need to be saving probably about 20 to 25%, if not more, for taxes. But the thing is, I do not make that much. And I also file jointly with my husband. So a lot of what he gets back from taxes pays for the taxes that I would pay for. So right now I am just saving 15% because I truly don't make enough to be able to survive and save more than that. And I've never had a problem doing it this way so far. So that's kind of just what I'm doing right now. I keep my tax savings in a high yield savings account that I do not touch. We're currently using Ally for our savings. We were using a bunch of different things, but we would have savings accounts for a bunch of different things and money was kind of everywhere and I really didn't like that. So I switched to a bank called Ally. It's either Allay or Ally. I don't know. And I like this one a lot better because they have buckets for your savings account. So basically what that means is all of our money is in one bank account, but you can create almost little folders. They call them buckets, but you can create essentially folders to allot your money for something. So we have an emergency fund, we have a baby savings, we have a taxes for me, we have a house fund, and I also have a business expenses fund because of course this business costs money. So every time I get paid, I will save a little bit of extra money away to keep my business up and running. And the nice thing is we get one flat rate interest rate. We don't have like one over here with $1,000 in it, one over here with 3,000 or whatever different amounts are in there. We have one big lump sum of money, but it's all organized out so we can budget a lot easier and it's fantastic. But the rest of my money that I get will get deposited into my regular checking account. And then from there, I will use that for everything else. Bills, debt payoff, and of course, fun. Right now, my top priority is paying off debt at the moment. So this is how I handle paying off debt as a small creator with an inconsistent income. I currently have 2 debt payments that I consider to be a part of my regular bills because they are my minimum payments that I need to make every single month in order for those bills to be paid. I have 1 credit card and my student loans, which the student loans is the big one and they hurt. It is a big number. I always pay the minimum on those and I treat them just like bills because of course you should. But I'm also trying to pay these off as quick as possible so that I can hit my ultimate goal, which is being debt-free. So what I do is I have a target number in mind for what I want to pay towards that debt every single month. Some months I will hit it, some months I will not, some months I will do more. It really just depends on what I make for that month versus the amount of bills that I have. So I do have a target number that I try to hit every month and then we kind of just see if I hit it that month or not. And I actually just started paying my car insurance every 6 months instead of paying every month to save some money because when you bundle for 6 months, you get a little bit of a discount for like paying in full. So my plan is for the first 6 months of this plan, I'm going to be using that money to pay off debt instead of putting it in savings to save towards when I have to pay it again in 6 months. And then when my car insurance becomes due in 6 months, I'm just going to use what we have in our emergency savings to pay for that because my biggest goal right now is debt payoff, and not spending that extra expense will make it easier for me to pay off that debt. And then maybe in 6 months, we'll reevaluate and say, okay, we need to save a little money towards car insurance. And what I'll probably do is just add another bucket in that Allay savings account. And every month I'll save $100 or whatever towards my car insurance so that when it comes again due in 6 months, then I can pay it no problem. But for the first 6 months, I'm deciding to allot that money towards investing and debt payoff. And then we'll reevaluate in 6 months and see where we are. But speaking of saving and investing, that's the next thing that I want to talk about as a content creator because it is super, super important. I do not want to be working for the rest of my life, and I do not have an employer to put money into my 401k. And I need to make sure that I'm saving because if my income is not what I was expecting from the next month, sometimes I may need to pull out of my emergency savings in order to pay my regular bills. Now, luckily, this doesn't happen very often, but in the event that it does, I want to be saving and also on top of that, investing because I don't want to work forever. I would like to retire at some point. Now, I am not putting a lot towards this goal at the moment because debt payoff is the goal and our savings right now is pretty good. So we don't need to expand that a lot. And I say we because I'm not doing this alone. My husband is here as well, and he is mostly focusing on the savings. I am focusing on the debt payoff, and since his income is more consistent and he has the ability to take a portion of every check and automatically deposit that into savings so that we don't have to think about it, he's the one that is doing that. Which that's the one good thing about a 9 to 5 is you get a relatively consistent paycheck every month. You can kind of guess what you're going to be getting every 2 weeks. And then you can also auto deposit some portion of your money into your savings, which is what I like to do. I like to automate as much of this as possible so that you don't have to kind of think about it yourself. So if you're not doing that, and that is an option for your bank or your work, you can go into your job and allot either a portion or an amount of your paycheck every month to go into a separate bank account. So you split it between two. And then the second one should obviously more than likely be your savings. And this has helped us automate our savings and grow it. And I've been doing this since I was 18 when I got my first job. It is great. As a self-employed person, I can't really do that. So I have to do it manually. But if you are working a 9 to 5, that is definitely a good thing to do if you're not currently. But up until recently, retirement savings for us, we were doing terribly. It is incredibly hard to pay for retirement with such a small paycheck and spread it so thin. So we were not doing much towards our retirement, but since I have moved my monthly car insurance to a 6-month car insurance, I'm taking a small portion of that and I am auto depositing it into my investing account for the purpose of course, investing. And this is another thing that you can automate. Since I don't have a 401k, we opened up a Roth IRA for the both of us because right now my husband is not full-time, which means he does not have a 401k either. So we opened up a Roth IRA for the both of us. We deposited a decent portion of money from our emergency savings years ago at this point, put that into our investing account. And then now what I'm going to be doing is auto depositing a small portion of what I was paying for car insurance every month into my investing account because I really want to do more of that. And we were doing terribly for a long time because right now debt payoff is the goal and we don't have a lot more money to allot to anything else like investing. However, it is still incredibly important. And since we are in our late 20s now, I really want to ramp up our investing savings because time is money when it comes to investing. Time in the market is way better than trying to time the market. So we're trying to spend as much time and money as we can in the market so that when we're older, we have enough money to actually retire. Now, and the last category to worry about, of course, would be personal spending. Now, I'm not talking about bills when I say this. I mean talking about actually having fun. I spend a decent amount of money on fun and personal spending because I not only want to live life when I'm older, I also don't want to miss out on life right now. So I definitely could decrease my fun spending and put more towards debt payoff, saving, investing, and all of those different things. And I will be doing that within the next year because I went absolutely ham this year buying concert tickets and events and different things like that. So that was my focus for this year, but I am now 27 and I need to get my shit together. So next year, we're definitely going to be lowering the amount that we are spending in personal spending, but it's not going to be completely zero because I think it's completely unrealistic to not spend on things that are fun. It's important to definitely lower your spending if you are going hog wild like I did last year or this year, I guess, but I don't want to completely make my spending zero. So what I would recommend if you're trying to budget a little bit better, but you don't want to completely get rid of your personal spending, I would decide what is important to you and then allot your money towards that. And then figure out what isn't necessarily as important to you and decrease your spending on that. One thing that was really important to me this year was getting my hair dyed and getting my nails done. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or not, but getting my nails done is not really something that I care too much to do anymore. And I wasn't one of the people that went to get their nails done every 2 weeks. I would do it every like 3 months or so. It wasn't something that I was doing crazy. So that's probably not something I'm going to spend too much on in the next year. I do really enjoy getting my hair dyed, so that is a personal spending thing that I will splurge on. Concert tickets, I am obsessed with live music. I absolutely love it. It brings me so much joy and emotion to just be there and hearing the music live and seeing artists that I love. I absolutely love it. So that is something that I will be slowing down on, but not completely cutting out of my budget. I would figure out what your personal spending categories are and decide, is this an experience that's worth it? Is this something that I enjoy? Does this bring me joy? And would I rather put this towards fun as opposed to something like investing or saving or something like that? So then the question becomes, where do I keep track of all of these things? Because I'm not keeping track of them in my head. I have way too many things going on to try and keep track of all of this mentally. So I actually have a budget tracker where I keep track of both personal and business spending. So let's take a look at that. So this is my business spending. This is something that I've been working on a little bit. I'm trying to get it to look the way that I want to and work the way that I want to. Originally, I had my home budget and my business tracking all in one sheet along with my debt payoffs and everything, but it became to be too much. So I'm working on splitting them up. So this is my 2024 business income tracking, and you can see I have the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, along with the different breakdown for how much I made in the month, the expenses, the profit, what I should have saved for taxes, and what I actually saved. We're gonna ignore that those numbers are vastly different. And then the totals of all of those things, including the take home, which is this minus the taxes, the profit and the expenses minus the taxes. And then I have this, which, like I said, I'm working on this still. So I will eventually put in how much I actually made per income source because I find it really interesting to see all of these stats. So that's something that I'm going to do once I work through all of this. I also have this sheet, which I like a lot, which is all business income history. So this is all of the income that I have ever made for my business since I started making money. I don't have 2024 in there, of course, because it's currently 2024. So you can see how much I made for 2023, the business total, the expenses, and then the actual amount that I made. And then I also did door dashing. So this is for my business specifically. And then this is how much I made with dashing and my business. So I have 2023, 2022, and 2021 and 2020. We're gonna ignore 2020, where I said a negative $2,500 and I made $184. In 2019, it was a lot worse because I didn't make any money in 2019, which is why this isn't even on here. And I wasn't tracking very well in 2019 how much I made or lost. I made zero, so there was nothing to track there. But I did lose so much money. It's really great to see the progress, to see me go from losing $2,500 in a year to making $4,000 in a year to making that in a single quarter. So that's great. I will be doing a complete breakdown of everything that I've made in the future, probably in December sometime. So if you guys are interested in exactly how much I made for all of 2024, I will be doing a breakdown of that. But this is just my monthly business tracker. And then I have this one as well, which shows how much I made and the expenses so that I can keep track of everything. This is just for business. And then I have my home budget tracker. I'm currently working on that as well. So I can see for 2025 how I want to organize all of my income. So we have the blank one right here. You can see the monthly summaries, the household summaries, and then I have them split up into loans, known bills, groceries, going out, fun, other, and then I have one down here for business as well. So this is actually what is available in the shop right now. I don't have the business tracker available right now. I can put it up if that's something that content creators, if you're watching this, if you're interested in it. But right now I just have this one up. There's a lot more to it. I'm going to be updating it. So you're gonna have every single month planned out, and there's gonna be a debt tracker and all that different stuff. But this is currently what this one is looking like, and that's how I keep track of everything. Keeping track of finances as a creator can be a bit overwhelming, but I use these trackers to make it a lot easier. And I hope you found this video helpful, or at least you found it interesting if you are not a content creator, but you wanted to see how content creators keep track of all of this stuff. But if you want to see how much I actually make as a content creator, check out my latest income report right here. Make sure to like if you like and subscribe to my channel down below for more videos just like this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.